On September 5th, Governor State University held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the newly completed Social Justice Building. Construction took little over a year, following groundbreaking and the start of construction last summer. Many speakers were present for the ceremony, including University President Dr. Cheryl Green, Social Justice Initiative Director Dr. Phyllis West, Federal Judge Sharon Coleman, Architect Dominic DeMonica, and multiple residents who have been helped by the Social Justice Initiative within the past year. Dr. Green was a driving force for the construction of this building and a champion for the inclusion of social justice within the college, and remarked that seeing the building complete was part of her vision for the university. The Social Justice Building is the first new building on Governor State's campus in almost a decade, with the Prairie Place dorms, which opened back in 2014, now being the second newest building. The new 2,600 square foot building houses multiple offices, a conference room, and a reception area. It was also built with the future in mind and allows for planned expansion later in the building's life. Governor State's free legal clinic, which was established by the Social Justice Initiative, has been in operation since last year, but finds its new home within the walls of the Social Justice Building. The building is open Friday and Saturday and is open to students and residents in the area seeking legal help or other social services. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor.
On September 15, 2024, former President Donald Trump was the target of an attempted assassination at his Florida's golf club. President Trump was not harmed, and the unfolding of the plan came at the expense of the Secret Service, who spotted a rifle barrel sticking out of a fence, and agents fired at a man who was in the bushes along the perimeter. According to the Palm Beach County Sheriff, Rick Bradshaw, the suspect fled in the car and was detained after being eventually stopped on the highway. The person that was detained is Ryan Wesley Ruth. According to 3 law enforcement sources, Ruth owns a small construction company in Hawaii and has criticized Trump on social media while being an avid supporter of Ukraine. Ruth was originally charged with 2 gun-related offenses, including removing the firearm serial number and possessing a firearm while a convicted felon. Ruth, 58, already faces up to 20 years behind bars on 2 gun-related charges. But he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted on a new, more serious charge. He returns to court for arraignment hearing on Monday, September 30th, where he is expected to enter a plea.
On September 10th, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump faced off in their first presidential debate against one another. This was Trump's second debate of the 2024 election, with the first race being against Joe Biden before he dropped out of the race, and his 7th debate overall. The debate was Harris's first chance to address the public following the Democratic National Convention, where she accepted the Democratic presidential nomination. This was also the first time Trump and Harris have met in person. David Muir acted as the night's moderator, fielding questions at both presidential hopefuls, and attempting to keep things moving along during the 90-minute debate. Both candidates had their mics muted while the other had time allotted to them, in an attempt to prevent interruptions and keep the proceedings running smoothly. The debate was an opportunity for both Harris and Trump to highlight their own personal campaigns and policies, but most of the night was spent trading blows with one another and arguing why the other should not be elected. The former president frequently rambled off topic and never missed an opportunity to be xenophobic, bigoted, or downright incorrect. Harris more frequently stayed on topic, and many are regarding this debate as favorable for her. While she did look competent next to a tangent-prone Trump, many undecided voters and those on the left felt unmoved by Harris's remarks. Her support for fracking, combined with her continued silence on the genocide in Gaza, are alienating a non-insignificant percent of voters who could be pivotal in this close race. With less than 60 days remaining until the election, time is running out for both sides to woo undecided voters and to mobilize their respective bases. Vice President candidates Tim Walz and J.D. Vance will have their own debate in the coming weeks, which will take place on October 1st. A second presidential debate is also being planned, and while Harris has already accepted the invitation, Trump is hesitant to participate in another public face-off. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor. New York City Mayor Eric Adams was indicted on several felony charges in an indictment unsealed on September 26th. The charges include bribery, conspiracy, and fraud. Adams is charged with accepting bribes and campaign contributions from foreign entities, as well as accepting over $100,000 worth of luxury travel and resort services for free over the past decade. Not only did he not disclose any of these gifts, the indictment also claims that Adams falsified documents and instructed others to falsify documents in order to cover his tracks. Despite claims from Adams earlier in the year that he and his staff were complying with a federal investigation that was already underway, the indictment told another story. Multiple parts of the indictment show efforts by Adams and his staff to conceal and destroy incriminating evidence relating to this investigation. Before entering the world of politics, Adams was an officer for the NYPD, eventually becoming a captain within the department before retiring from the force in 2006. With his approval rating already dropping before the scandal broke, it is hard to see how Adams will recover from this politically. An ex-cop who campaigned on cleaning up the city, being credibly accused of corruption, will have a hard time running for re-election, should he manage to avoid prison. While New York is no stranger to corrupt politicians, Adams having this big of a scandal on his hands in his first mayoral term is certainly an outlier. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor. 4 people were killed in Winder, Georgia on September 4th during a mass shooting at Appalachia High School. 9 other people were injured and hospitalized in various conditions, though all are expected to survive. The gunman, a 14-year-old student of the school, and his father were both taken into custody following the attack. The gunman left class around 9:45 in the morning before returning with a gun and opening fire on a neighboring classroom. The local police department received notice of the shooting around 10:20 a.m. before arriving on the scene. An officer stationed at the high school confronted the gunman after the attack began, who surrendered immediately upon encountering the officer. The gunman, identified as Colt Gray, will be tried as an adult for 4 counts of murder, while his father, Colin Gray, will be tried as well, with the charges alleging that he allowed his son access to the firearm used in the attack. Both Colin and Colt were questioned by authorities last year regarding anonymous tips the sheriff's office received about threats to commit a school shooting, but there was no probable cause for arrest at the time. Appalachia High School received a call early in the morning of the shooting before class started, warning that the school and 4 others in the district would be the target of attacks. The identity of the caller is still unknown, and thankfully none of the other schools would end up being subjected to similar violence. School authorities were already looking for Gray before the shooting began, but were unable to find him before he armed himself. This is so far the deadliest school shooting in America this year, but is the 45th school shooting in the country overall in 2024. Classes have since resumed in Barrow County, while the investigation has yet to be fully concluded. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor.
The case of Marcellus Williams has once again sparked a national conversation on justice, race, and the criminal justice system. Williams, a Missouri man convicted of murder, has been on death row since 2001. However, new evidence and doubts about his conviction have led to growing calls for his release. The story of Marcellus Williams began in 1998 when he was convicted of murdering Leisha Gale, a former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter. For more than 2 decades, Williams has maintained his innocence, but it wasn't until 2015 that DNA evidence from the murder weapon, tested years after his conviction, suggested that the DNA did not match his own. This revelation fueled a wave of protests. Civil rights activists, legal experts, and community leaders began to speak out, arguing that an innocent man may have been wrongfully convicted. Demonstrators took to the streets of Missouri, demanding a stay of execution and calling for a retrial. At 6 p.m., September 24th, State Attorney General Andrew Bailey notified the Department of Corrections that there were no legal impediments to the execution. The lethal injection was administered at 6:01 p.m., and Williams was pronounced dead at 6:10 p.m. Around 100 demonstrators were present on the prison grounds, protesting capital punishment and Williams' execution. No one from Gale's family was present for Tuesday's execution.
On September 22nd, 4 people were killed in a shooting in the 5 Points South neighborhood of Birmingham, Alabama. 17 others were also injured in the attack that authorities believe may have been a hit. The shooting happened after 11 p.m. after multiple people drove up to the entertainment district, exited their vehicle, and began firing into a crowd. Shortly afterwards, the assailants re-entered their vehicle and quickly drove away. The speed and coordination of the attack has led investigators to believe that the shooters were targeting a specific person, but they are not yet sure who the potential target would have been. Over 100 bullet casings were recovered from the scene of the crime, but Birmingham police have stated they have no suspects at the moment, and no one was taken into custody following the tragedy. This is the second nightlife shooting to happen in Birmingham this year, and one of over 400 mass shootings to have occurred in the country in 2024. 5 of the victims still remain in the hospital. Police are currently offering up to a $100,000 reward for any information regarding the shooters. For the time being, Birmingham police have received assistance from the FBI in order to continue the investigation. For GSUTV, this is Graham Taylor. On September 17th, Israel launched a series of terror attacks against Lebanon and Syria by detonating hundreds of pagers that had been rigged to explode remotely. The following day, another wave of explosions surged through Lebanon as the attack continued, with Israel remotely detonating two-way radios in addition to more pagers. Explosions were triggered in hospitals, stores, busy public streets, and private residences, killing 36 people, including at least 2 children and 4 hospital staff, as well as injuring thousands of others. Ostensibly, the purpose of the attack was to target high-ranking Hezbollah members to disrupt their leadership. In that regard, the attack should be considered a failure, as most senior members used older pager models, and as such they were largely spared from any harm. Israel, however, was successful in terrorizing citizens of both countries, as in the following days, many people living in Syria and Lebanon avoided or discarded small electronic devices in the event that another wave of detonations were to occur. There is also a reasonable fear that if attacks like these become normalized, we could see them appear in other theaters of war as well. Chapter 26, Protocol 2B, Article 7 of the 1980 United Nations Conventions, a treaty to which Israel is a participant, quote, prohibits the use of booby traps or other devices in the form of apparently harmless portable objects, which are specifically designed and constructed to contain explosive materials, end quote. The same article also prohibits the use of booby traps in any way attached or associated with medical facilities, medical supplies, or medical transportation. As the one-year anniversary of Israel's bloody campaign against Palestine following the October 7th attacks rapidly approaches, many around the world are wondering if there will be any end to this bloodshed, which has now been extending beyond Palestine's borders for some time now. Despite numerous motions from the UN and other peacekeeping bodies, Western nations have done little to nothing to impede Israel's warpath. The United States is actively complicit in these continued war crimes, as they just approved another multi-billion-dollar aid package for Israel on September 26th. Lebanese authorities are still investigating the incident in an attempt to uncover how the compromised electronics made it into their country. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor. Pavel Durov, billionaire and CEO of the messaging app Telegram, was arrested in Paris on August 25th. He was arrested after arriving in France via private jet, where Paris authorities took him into custody. Durov was born in Russia, but currently has citizenship in France, and Telegram itself is currently based in Dubai. Durov was given preliminary charges on August 28th, after being held in question for days, alleging that his platform allowed for the spread of child exploitation images, as well as facilitating the trade of illegal goods. Telegram, in a post hosted by the platform itself, claimed that it abides by all EU moderation laws and content policies, and further defended Durov. Following his detainment, Durov made a statement that he was unjustly arrested. The statement went on to say that if the French authorities had issue with Telegram as a platform, then they should go after the platform itself and not the individuals. While the charges that Durov is faced with does not necessarily mean that there will be a trial, it does mean that the French government intends to continue an investigation of Durov and Telegram itself. Durov has since been released from custody under the stipulation that he report to French police multiple times a month while the investigation continues. No further proceedings have yet been filed. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor.
Welcome to Governor State University TV, where today we'll be talking about one of the hidden gems of Governor State University, the Writing Center. This friendly environment is ran by student workers who can help other students in different writing assignments and projects. Here are a couple of workers who can describe what the Writing Center is like.
So I'm in this because I love, working with new students. I work with new student programs specifically. I've been doing this for around 2 years now. It's kind of like a passion of mine to make sure the students get acclimated with the school and, have a great experience.
We help students kind of navigate through, new students in particular, to navigate through the school year and through the campus. We also plan events such as orientations and just little events throughout the semester as well.
If I were to, be of assistance for anybody, I kind of know how it feels to kind of be left in the dark and not have that support. So being there for somebody else kind of pushes me to be better myself. So
I like helping people. I like talking to people. My major is psychology, so that's more so in the field of being a therapist or like a counselor of some sort, and that's kind of where I want to go. So this is kind of helping me also in my field of choice, just kind of talking to people, understanding people, and what makes them them.
Make sure you stop by the Writing Center if you have any questions, and also say hello to our fellow student workers.
Good boy.
So nice.
That was nice.
There's a new staff member at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, Massachusetts, bringing joy to the pediatric patients there.
Knowing that she's here specifically for them has been so awesome, and we've had a few comments from parents especially that are like, oh, we don't have to get a dog now because we have one here.
Meet Opry, the 1.5-year-old golden retriever who was donated to the Institute with the help of the Duncan Joy and Childhood Foundation. She is the first in-residency facility dog for Dana-Farber. Opry will be working with the staff to create a calming, therapeutic environment for kids battling cancer.
A lot of our patients are on treatment for a while, and so after a little bit of time, it can be challenging to get them away from some of the activities that we have in clinic, the more fun activities, and get them to go do parts of their treatment.
Dana-Farber staff says that Opry will be on duty to help patients feel more comfortable in the hospital, help motivate them to achieve health care goals, and to reduce anxiety during stressful procedures.
Seeing Opry bring joy and smile to the faces of patients and families is really critical.
Opry has been through special training to be able to complete specific tasks in order to better help patients every day. It took 2 years of preparation to make sure the hospital was ready to train Opry on her responsibilities. Now that she's arrived, the staff says they are thrilled to work alongside their newest addition. This has been Jada Thompson with GSUTV.
Welcome to GSU TV, where today we'll be talking about the Career Services Center and also having a conversation with the Director of Career Services, Ms. Rosa Valdez-Mensala.
Why did I select career services? For me, it's more of a personal reason, and that's mainly because of the experience that I had as a college student. One, not just as a first-generation college student, but more of as a minority. I attended a 4-year university, which was Robert Morris University, and unfortunately, the career center there was not as, I guess you could say, as advertised as it is nowadays, in different universities. So I did not have a good experience when I was attending college because, one, I had no knowledge of how to get started. I just knew I had to attend college, get my degree, and then try to find a job. Little did I know that one of the important things is actually taking advantage of doing internships and being prepared, right, when it comes to having a resume ready. What does it consist of having a resume, a cover letter? I didn't know about any of this information, And again, being a first generation college student, you know, if I would have had someone to mentor me or an advisor, someone that I could go to, it definitely would have made a huge difference. Why did I come to GOVSTATE? For me, it was when I saw that it expanded the education that it offers, and it was now accepting freshman students. You know, it's really important for me to be able to connect with the students when they first start a university, because a lot of them don't realize the importance of connecting with career services, right? They tend to wait till the end. And also, upon my research, I caught that, you know, GOVSTATE is very community driven. They like to work with the students. They're very passionate. They're very innovative with the resources and programs that they offer. So for me, having the opportunity to work here and working with a lot of minority first generation students means a lot. It's a passion of mine, and I'm able to meet my goals as well as help the students meet their goals as well.
The Career Services Center is something that all students should look into. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to go talk to Miss Rosa Valdez-Mensala. This is John Redfield, and thank you for watching GSUTV.
Good evening. My name is Jada Thompson, and a very special furry friend is in the process of becoming a certified therapy dog to serve as a multifunctional aid for a lucky owner. Meet Ozzy, a fun-loving 8-month-old Australian Labradoodle. He is in the process of becoming a certified therapy dog, helping members at ATC overcome addiction.
Really, it's a big comfort for our lady that maybe they're going through whatever issue that they're struggling with.
According to studies, a therapy dog like Ozzy can help people reduce anxiety, improve overall mood, and increase the chances of a successful drug recovery, offering more than just companionship.
Just been a great part of the program here, a great addition to our little family. He brings lots of smiles and laughter to all of us women here.
This is Jada Thompson reporting live for GSUTV.
I am ROSM 7134. A ROSM always completes its task.
Welcome to Hollywood Buzz, your source for the latest in the entertainment industry. I'm your host, Graham Taylor, and today we'll be looking at upcoming releases, celebrity news, and the latest from Hollywood. Let's get started. DreamWorks' latest animated feature-length movie, The Wild Robot, had a stellar opening weekend, releasing on September 27th and dethroning Beetlejuice from the top spot at the box office. Based on the book series of the same name, The Wild Robot is a hit so far. The same can't be said for Megalopolis, the long-awaited Francis Ford Coppola project that released alongside The Wild Robot. With only a gross of $4 million in its opening weekend, the utopian epic might end up being one of the year's biggest flops. Legendary actor James Earl Jones sadly passed away on September 9th in his New York home at age 93. With an acting career spanning over 50 years, Jones touched the hearts of millions worldwide and was known for providing the voice of Star Wars' Darth Vader and The Lion King's Mufasa. Jones was a highly skilled actor on stage and on screen, as well as one of few to achieve EGOT status by winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award throughout the span of his career. Dame Maggie Smith also passed away this month on September 27th in London at age 89. Known recently for her role in Downton Abbey, Smith was an acting powerhouse, achieving Triple Crown status by earning an Academy Award, Emmy Award, and a Tony Award, along with dozens of others during the course of her decades-long career. A new entry in the long-running Legend of Zelda series was released on September 26th. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom also marks the first time in a mainline Legend of Zelda game that the titular Princess Zelda is the playable character, who must rescue the hero Link this time around. Hip-hop star and media mogul Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, is once again in the spotlight for the wrong reasons following an indictment against him released on September 17th. In the indictment, Combs is charged with sex trafficking, forced labor, bribery, and racketeering. He was arrested on September 23rd and denied bail twice. These charges come after an already turbulent year for Combs, where he's faced a slew of sexual misconduct lawsuits, raids on multiple of his properties, and the release of security footage showing him physically abusing his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Combs is currently being held in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, where he will continue to stay until the start of his trial. Following the presidential debate, pop superstar Taylor Swift took to Instagram to make a post declaring her support of Kamala Harris. While the announcement might not come as a surprise to most, it does follow a wave of memes and AI-generated images featuring Swift with pro-Trump messaging, some even shared by the former president himself, so this announcement was also made to address those posts as well.
When does an empire die? Does it collapse in one terrible moment? No. But there comes a time when its people no longer believe in it.
For GSUTV, this has been Graham Taylor with the latest Hollywood buzz.
On Monday, federal agents with Homeland Security investigations seized a number of electronic devices as part of the court-authorized searches of 2 properties associated with Sean Diddy Combs. The raid of his Miami and Los Angeles home comes as part of a federal investigation along with the wave of lawsuits that has been filed against the rap mogul since November. Combs is allegedly accused of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and the solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and firearms. In his Los Angeles home, law enforcement authorities detained multiple individuals from inside the house, including Combs' 2 sons and employees. On the same day of the raid, former Syracuse player Brandon Paul was arrested on drug charges as he tried to board a plane in Miami. Paul is also now being accused of being a drug mule for Combs' operation. In a statement released Tuesday, a lawyer representing Combs called the raid a gross overuse of military-level force, adding that Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. This is Jason Gonzalez reporting for GSU-TV.
Media mogul Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, is once again under fire after video of him from 2016 was released to the public on May 17th. The video shows Combs physically assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The footage was obtained from hotel surveillance cameras and shows Combs throwing Ventura to the ground before repeatedly kicking her and dragging her off, as well as throwing glass vases at her. The video matches testimony given during Ventura's lawsuit against Combs last November, where she accused him of rape and physical abuse. The suit was settled for an undisclosed amount, and Combs at the time denied all accusations of violence or misdoing before and after the trial. He has since released an apology video after the security footage went public. 5 other women have also filed lawsuits against Combs since Ventura's suit in November, alleging they faced similar abuse from Combs. He has denied those allegations as well, though those trials are currently unresolved. 2 of Combs' houses have also been raided by the Department of Homeland Security as well in that time, with his Florida and California homes both being searched in March over these allegations, though those investigations also remain ongoing. For GSU-TV, this is Graham Taylor.